Hey there, knowledge seekers. Are you ready for this?
Always ready to dive deep.
It feels like ChatGPT is changing by the day. Today, we're going to unpack their latest move into the world of search engines.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
It's not just a new feature.
No.
It could change how we think about, how we access information.
Yeah, and we're bringing in a global perspective today with articles from the French tech world.
Ooh la la.
Yeah, from Oro1net and BDM, Blog du Moderateur.
It's always cool to get those outside takes, see
Yes.
how people outside of Silicon Valley are viewing things.
Okay, so let's get right into it. The big news. ChatGPT has its own built-in search engine now,
Yep.
rolling out to paid users first, then later to everyone. But it's not just any search engine.
Right, and this is the really big part. This thing is powered by GPT-4o, OpenAI's most powerful language model yet.
Next level AI, that's what we're talking about.
And they haven't just been sitting around either.
No, they have not.
They've been busy partnering with, big names, like big news outlets. Associated Press, the Financial Times, Le Monde.
Oh, and some other French publications too, like,
Yeah.
well, they're in the articles,
Yeah.
you know?
It seems like they really want to, take on Google's main thing, like their strength,
Yeah.
having all the answers.
Yeah. Think about how we use search now. We're going back and forth, you know? We're in ChatGPT.
Yeah.
We got to go to Google, new tab, and then back. Imagine if all that just went away.
Yeah, what if you're in the middle of a conversation and bam, anything you need is just, right
Like
there.
the internet's like become a thought extension or something.
That's a good way to put it. Like, it really blurs the lines. Like what even is a chatbot?
Yeah.
What even is a search engine?
Right.
It's almost like it's like having a research assistant that lives in your computer.
Okay, so say I'm chatting with ChatGPT. I'm like, brainstormer, what's the price of lithium right now for a battery comparison? Bam! It just pops up.
Right there in the chat.
Yeah. No new tab. No, awkward pause while I'm doing my research.
And BDM, they have video, a short video showing how it works.
Oh, we'll have to link that in the show notes.
Yeah, and it made the interface really simple. Like the sources are all displayed in a sidebar so you can see where the info is coming from.
Oh, that's nice. It's all about seamless integration, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the elephant in the room here, right? Is this the beginning of the end for Google?
I mean, that's the question, right?
Yeah.
There are already, 200 million people using ChatGPT.
Writing poems, debugging code.
And now imagine that world expands to, include all information.
Yeah.
That's a huge shift.
That's a whole lot of people potentially not using Google anymore.
Exactly. And, they're already working on even more features like shopping and travel search.
Ooh, imagine planning your entire vacation just by having a conversation.
Yeah, it's like, is this the future?
It could be.
Then they mention this thing called Canvas,
Ooh.
but they don't really explain it, but it sounds visual,
Yeah.
like a new way to see search results.
Interesting. So we've gone from just a simple chatbot to, well, something much bigger. Something that could reshape, I don't know, like the whole internet.
Yeah, we have. But let's pull back the curtain a bit.
Yeah. How does this all work?
Let's get into the mechanics of it.
Yeah. So I'm chatting with ChatGPT and I need to know, what's the latest news on something? How do I get it to actually, search? Is there a command?
No special commands.
Oh, okay.
It's all about natural language, which is, pretty cool. Just ask your question like you're talking to, I don't know, another person.
Okay.
And then ChatGPT decides, based on what you asked, whether to give you something it already knows or go out and find something new.
Gotcha. But what if I want it to, search the web for sure?
Well, BDM points out there's this little globe icon in the chat. So you tap that before you ask, and it knows you want it to search.
Yeah. Nice and visual.
Yeah, keeps the interface clean.
Yeah. So then what? It just, throws a bunch of links at me like Google does.
This is what's really cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't just give you a list of links. It actually reads them all.
What?
Yeah, and this gives you, the key points, like a summary.
So it's like having a friend who's read everything and is like, here's the TLDR.
Yeah, exactly. And both articles mention that they show you the sources,
Mm-hmm.
in the sidebar, so you can see where the info is coming from.
Well, that's good. Transparency is important. But, even with, good intentions, are we sure it's always going to get things right? What happens when it runs into something it just doesn't know?
Well, that's where, it kind of gets really interesting. It uses both, right? Like its own knowledge and the web. So if it doesn't know, it goes and looks.
So it's constantly learning and getting better.
Yeah, that's like the core of AI, isn't it?
So we're all helping teach it by using it.
You got it.
Wow. It's kind of wild when you think about it like that. So we've talked about how it works, user experience, it's learning, but what does it all mean? Like really mean? Is this just a cool feature
Yeah.
or is this something bigger?
I think it's definitely bigger than just a, cool new feature.
Yeah, I mean, this could change everything about how we find stuff online.
Right. I mean, you say search, everyone thinks Google,
For
right?
sure.
And this just like throws that all out the window.
Yeah, yeah.
ChatGPT Search, it's more intuitive, more personal.
More powerful, maybe.
Yeah, like it's the old way versus the new way.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting to see what Google does, right?
Oh, absolutely. Google's not just going to sit there.
I mean, they're already putting AI in their search, but this is going to push them, I think.
Oh, yeah. It's like an AI arms race. Whoever can make the best experience for the user wins.
Yeah. So it all comes down to who can make search more intuitive, more useful, and more, well, valuable to us.
Right.
We are at a turning point. Like, big changes are happening right now. But we've covered a lot, so let's take a quick pause and come back and talk about, well, what does this all mean, really?
Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about, how the internet might be about to change forever.
Yeah, it's kind of scary to think that one new thing could, cause that many ripples.
Yeah, it is. But, ChatGPT Search,
Yeah.
it's still pretty new.
Right.
And there are some big questions,
The accuracy thing, we've all heard about these AI hallucinations, like making stuff up.
Oh, for sure. And I think that's a valid concern.
Yeah.
With regular search, you kind of learn to be skeptical, right? You double check things.
Yeah.
But with this, it feels, I don't know, more human, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Like you're more likely to just trust it because it sounds like a, friendly voice.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's, that's why this whole transparency thing, showing the sources is so important.
Yeah. It's a good reminder that AI is, it's a tool and we have to use it wisely,
Speaking of using it wisely,
Yeah.
the articles talk about some pretty interesting ways we might use this, like in education, research,
Mm-hmm.
They even mention creative writing.
Oh, interesting. So like how could it change um education like for students?
So imagine a student, they're researching for a paper, right?
Mhm.
Instead of just having to, dig through all these articles, they could talk to ChatGPT,
Yeah.
like ask it questions, get summaries, explore different ideas.
So it's like having a personal tutor that kind of tailors everything to you.
Yeah, like a tutor who's always available.
That's amazing.
It could really change things for, well, anyone who wants to learn, not just students.
It's making me think differently about information overload. Like maybe it's not too much information.
Yeah,
Maybe it's that it's like been hard to access until now.
I think that's a good point. With ChatGPT Search, it's not just about finding stuff anymore.
Right.
It's about understanding it,
Yeah.
like making that data into actual knowledge.
Yeah, okay. I can see it for education
Yeah.
research. But you said creative writing.
Yeah, so like picture this. You're a writer.
Mm-hmm.
You have writer's block, right? Instead of just, staring at a blank page,
Ugh. The worst.
you can have like a conversation with ChatGPT about your book, your characters,
Oh, wow.
get ideas, feedback. You could even write scenes together.
It's like having a brainstorming buddy.
Always there.
Yeah.
Never gets tired. And it has, access to like all the ideas basically.
It's incredible.
And it can even, translate stuff. So you could have writers from different places working together.
Oh, wow. That'd be amazing. But with all this talk about revolutionizing everything,
Yeah.
what about the people doing those jobs now?
Yeah, that's important. Both articles touch on that a bit.
Yeah.
Like this could create some jobs and, eliminate others.
The classic automation problem.
Right.
Yeah.
So on the one hand, you're going to need people to build and, design all this.
Engineers.
Coders.
Exactly.
So that could be good for the economy, right? Lots of new jobs.
But at the same time, some jobs might go away,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
like customer service, maybe some research jobs,
Yeah.
even some like journalism, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So the key is going to be adapting,
Yeah.
retraining people for the new jobs,
Right.
the ones that need creativity, critical thinking, the stuff AI can't do.
It's a reminder that technology, it's powerful, but
Yeah.
you got to be careful.
Absolutely. It's like it can help and it can hurt. So we got to pay attention.
That brings up another thing,
Yeah.
like Are there things, bad things that could happen that we aren't even thinking about? Like, we're talking about changing how we think about information.
Right. It's like, I don't know, it's like throwing a rock in a pond.
You see the splash, but then there are all these ripples that go out.
Yeah.
And you don't know what they'll hit.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
So we need to be, we need to be careful. We need to watch what happens and be ready to, change course if we need to, make sure it's used ethically.
Yeah, it's not about being, all in or all against technology.
It's about finding that balance.
Yeah.
How can it help everyone?
Yeah, and that takes discussion, thinking critically, being willing to change.
Exactly.
Which is what we try to do here,
Right.
But let's take another quick pause and then come back and talk about what we can all, take away from this.
And we are back, ready for the final part of our deep dive into ChatGPT Search.
Yeah, let's pull it all together. What have we learned?
We've covered a lot. How it works, the tech stuff, how it could change, pretty much everything.
But I want to go back to something we talked about before.
Okay.
This isn't just about replacing Google. This is bigger than that. You're talking about changing the whole idea of search.
Exactly. Yeah. Like we've all gotten used to this one way of doing it, right?
Yeah. Type some words, get some links, and then good luck.
Exactly. ChatGPT Search is different. It's not just about, finding stuff. It's about understanding it.
It's I don't know, it's the difference between reading a textbook and actually talking to the author.
That's a good way to put it. And that back and forth is important.
Yeah.
Because it helps us, actually learn, not just consume information,
So it's not a new search engine, it's a new way to think.
It's a shift from finding data to discovering knowledge.
I like that. From data points to connected ideas.
And that's exciting.
Yeah.
But it also means we have to be careful.
Right, we have to think about what could go wrong.
Yeah, be aware of the limits. Are there biases? Are we handing too much power to the algorithms?
Yeah, it's not about being afraid of tech.
Right, it's about using it responsibly. Making sure it benefits everyone.
So what can our listeners do? How do we make the most of this?
Be curious. Don't be afraid to try it out.
Yeah, play around with it.
Exactly. See what it's good at.
Mm.
And where it, maybe needs some work.
Think of search as a conversation.
Yeah, ask questions. Don't just take what it gives you at face value. Push it.
And be critical, right?
Absolutely. Just because an AI says something, doesn't make it true.
Check your sources, Think for yourself.
Because the future, it's not going to be decided by some code, right?
Yeah.
It's up to us. The users, the thinkers, the question askers.
So stay engaged. Stay informed. Stay curious.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And that wraps up our deep dive into ChatGPT Search.
I hope this is giving you some new ways to, think about the future of information.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those minds open.
Yeah.
And we'll see you on the next deep dive.